she is, the Sephora sale. The Sephora sale has rolled back into town and she is ready to take you for all you're worth. But don't you worry, because that's why I'm here. I whittled this shit down. I'm gonna tell you what I think is worth your money right now at Sephora. I really tried to focus on some newer things. It's really, really easy to just talk about the same things over and over again. And while I know that also has value, I really tried to mix it up a little bit, talk about some newer things that I'm loving. And I'm also going to link a recent video down below in the description box, which is my top shelf makeup that I did a couple weeks ago. I am not going to be talking about powders in this video, and I'm not going to be talking about brow products in this video, simply because I talked about them in the video I just mentioned, and they're literally all the same. So I thought I would just spare you guys. Let's get into it. And what I'm drinking today is a very refreshing gin and tonic. If you guys are already planning on making a Sephora purchase during the sale, I cannot recommend enough going and just clicking on your favorite content creator's Sephora affiliate link and shopping through that link, because it literally takes a second, it costs you nothing, and I cannot tell you how much it helps support our channels so that we can put out more content for you guys. So thank you in advance to anyone who uses my links. I really appreciate you guys. And let's get into the recommendations. Okay, so first product I want to mention is a primer, and it is the In Beauty Project Face Glaze. Guys, this is my favorite primer right now. I would say it's between this and the Supergoop Glow Screen, which I talked about in my top shelf makeup. Still love that. They're very different though, because that is a great SPF as well, and that is very, very glowy, which I love. But I feel like if I'm going to recommend one or two things you should get at the sale, I just feel like more people would enjoy this because it's not quite as glowy, and it really does feel like skincare. It just gives you that polished look. You can use it as a primer. You can mix it into your foundation if you want a little less coverage and a little bit more luminosity. It's just a really nice way to make things look dewy without like going overboard. And I also love all three of these products from Milk Makeup. I'm gonna just kind of show you all at once because they're all the Milk Hydro Grip Primers. This is the primer, this is the eyeshadow primer, and this is the Grip Set and Refresh Spray, and I love them all. I actually forgot to put this on today, so I'm gonna mist this on. I love the fine mist on this. I hate when, you know, I do my makeup and then there's this like really intense wet mist coming at me and I can't control it. I don't feel that way when I use this, and this also sets my makeup so well. This is the Hydro Grip Primer. I just feel like this is a no-fail primer. Every single thing I've used this with, it has worked like a charm. It looks beautiful. It does exactly what it says. It's called a grip primer, and that's the main thing about it I love. I just feel like makeup grips to it so easily. And this is the Grip Eye Primer, and this is my favorite eyeshadow primer. I like it over the Urban Decay. I just really love the fact that it's invisible. Like, you don't really get any creasing. It's going to feel like you're barely putting anything on your lid, which I love as well. Like, I can't even feel it go on. And of course, eyeshadow primers really do make a difference. They make your eyeshadow that much more vivid. So all three of these Milk Makeup products, killing it for me. Okay, moving on to foundation. And I have to say, this category feels very high stakes right now because I have tried, for me, an inordinate amount of foundations that I have just been over the moon for, but I have whittled them down to three. The first of which is what I'm wearing on my face today. I don't think this is going to shock anyone. I feel like everyone is talking about this. This is indeed the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and I have this in the shade Yukon, which is L2.5. Like I said, I did sheer this out just ever so slightly with the In Beauty Project Face Glaze. I added a dab of that, and it really was a perfect combo. This is definitely like the fullest coverage foundation I am going to show you. And honestly, this is about as full coverage as I like to get. You're not really gonna see that on camera right now because I am never going to wear a foundation to its fullest coverage, but I love having that in a foundation. I love having a foundation that you could build up if you wanted to, but it also works really well for people who like something a little bit more minimal, and that's definitely me. Second foundation I wanna talk about is the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. I love this foundation, and I actually wore it yesterday for a very long time. I was out and about in the city for like over 12 hours, and when I got home, I still thought it looked pretty damn good. I love when they put the details on the back of a bottle. Why don't more people do that? Come on brands, get on top of it. Because this is telling me right now, this is skincare powered by hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, peptides, squalane, provitamin B5, arnica, caffeine, so many things. And I just want to say, and this is just my opinion, a lot of people have written me saying they want to try this, but they feel like it leans a little bit yellow. I don't feel that way at all. And I'm a person who doesn't have, I think, even like 1% of yellow undertone in my skin. I don't even know what people are talking about. Maybe I'm an actual moron, but this looks great on my skin and it's a great match. So according to me, I think that's something that you don't necessarily have to worry about. And then the third foundation, and this is actually my favorite, like it's splitting hairs, but this is my favorite. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I just cannot go wrong with this. This always looks stunning. It is a medium coverage foundation, but again, it can be sheared out. I talked about this in a recent video because I actually traveled with this and I was performing and I wore this the whole time. I wore it just, you know, being myself out and about, and I wore it when I was actually on stage performing, and it just, well, performed beautifully. Like I don't feel like I even have to put an ounce of work into this, just like blend it and go. And actually, like really quick anecdote, when I was getting ready for the actual show I was doing, we had a really tight amount of time to get ready. It was actually a little bit upsetting. And I had to like Fenty body sauce myself. I had my friend coming over, like doing my back. It was a whole situation. I did my makeup, no joke, from start to finish in like under 15 minutes. And this was just like, I was just like with a sponge, it just went on like a dream and I just moved on. I love this so much. I also appreciate this packaging. It's super easy to travel with. I live in a small space. It fits wherever I put it. I just cannot say enough about this. I love it. Honestly, you can't go wrong with any of them. Obviously, like I said, this is probably my favorite one, but all three of these are beautiful. This is probably a little bit more coverage than the other two, but I just have to say it's kind of splitting hairs with these foundations because they all wear really well and they all look like beautiful natural skin. Did I need to do a concealer category? No, I didn't, because this actually is very repetitive, but I just had to point out that really the only concealer I am gravitating toward right now is the Kosas Revealer Concealer. Like I'm kind of hitting the bottom. I can already tell. This is my go-to. The other concealer that I still to this day absolutely love is the Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Concealer. These are probably my favorite concealers in my collection, period. So Pat McGrath is fuller coverage. Kosas is a little bit more sheer, but they both brighten so beautifully. They're both so creamy. They blend out gorgeously. Like I cannot say enough about these two concealers. Okay, guys, we're moving on to bronzer. And this is a category that has really grown for me over the years because there was a time when I did not bronze. I know, it's wild, but I've really gotten into it, and this is my favorite cream bronzer, point blank. This is the Say Sunmelt the Say Sunmelt Natural Cream Bronzer. I had the lightest shade, which is light bronze. It really does, oh my God, it's so creamy. It feels like a creamy balm. And that is what the shade looks like. And I've had some people write me and say, you know, they're super fair and they felt like this looked really orangey. I mean, I guess I can see that on my hand, but I mean, I'm very pale and I'm wearing this all over the place today. I'm wearing it, my cheeks, my jawline. up here, and I don't feel like it looks orangey in the least. So hopefully that's helpful to somebody. I just think this is glorious, and damn if it doesn't pair well with my Fenty body sauce, which I almost forgot to include. We're not forgetting that this time in the Sephora sale, okay? Because spring's a coming, summer's a coming. We're gonna break out the sauce. I put this away, you know, during the fall and winter, and people were like, what happened to the sauce? Why aren't you talking about the sauce? I'm like, okay, I have literally talked about the sauce more than any other person living, okay? I don't know that that's true, but I think it's close. I still am not on the Fenty PR list. Still, I can't say enough about the Fenty body sauce. This isn't really a bronzer, but I'm just putting it in the bronzer category. Another product that you can use in so many ways. You can use it as a primer. You know, I use it on my neck and décolleté mostly just to like even everything out, because y'all know I love to use bronzer and blush on my face. And because I'm pale, I just feel like there's a lot of color going on up here, and then my neck is like white. I know I mentioned this before, but when I did that performance, that was my first experience with actually using this all over my body. I used this on my legs, I used it on my back, everywhere, because I wore a dress that was like very revealing. I just, again, cannot say enough about the Fenty body sauce. This is also the time to like go in on it because, you know, this isn't inexpensive. I feel like you get a good amount of product depending on how you use it on a regular basis, but you're gonna wanna get that discount on it, I think. So I mentioned my favorite cream bronzer, which is like, if you could buy one bronzer right now, I'd say get this one, but I'm always, always, always gonna recommend my favorite bronzer of all time, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Matte Bronzer. This is the best powder bronzer I have ever used, and pretty much one of the best bronzers I've ever used. Like these two products, they're both amazing. Like I couldn't tell you which one to buy. You know what I mean? It just depends on whether you want to use a cream or a powder, but they're both basically sent from the heavens above. I cannot settle on like a way to do my hair. I keep on like re-zhuzhing it, and all right, give it up, Cate. All right, so now we're moving on to blush, and this is definitely the category where I have no surprise. I have the most recommendations. First, I'm gonna start with cream blush, and I cannot say enough about these expensive as hell Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks blushes. I have 3 shades of this. 2 of them I purchased myself. 1 of them was sent to me by a subscriber, and that is Pop It. This is a shade I'm very excited to break out in the summer again, but I just have to I just have to swatch that for you. Like obviously that's an overly intense swatch, but look at the pigment on that. That is like the perfect hot pink. It's not too cool toned. Oh my God, these are just absolute perfection. And then the second one I got is Petal. And I got this because of Lisa J makeup. She put this on her cheeks and I fell out. So that right there is Petal, just like a beautiful sort of pinky rosy shade. And I really cannot believe this is the name of this. Westman Atelier, are you fucking kidding me? I swear this is called Doo Doo. What does that say? It's spelled D-O-U-D-O-U. Now, listen, I'm pretty good at pronunciation, and I know this isn't like a language. These are made up names. Why would you name a gorgeous shade like this Doo Doo? And even if it's not pronounced that way, why would you even name it anything that could be possibly pronounced that way? Westman Atelier, I need you to look at your life and look at your choices. So I'm doing these swatches terribly, but that swatch right there is Doo Doo, or Dow Dow, I guess, as I could, you know, decide to call it. That is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. I am wearing 2 blushes, of course, because I'm extra, but this was the cream blush I put on, and I just think that's like the perfect shade. It's got just the right amount of pink in it. It's not too muted. It's just like a beautiful sort of like aspen cheek situation. I also want to mention the Say Dew blush. This is new to me. I have it in the shade Chili, and it is stunning. I saw Michelle Wong apply this and I immediately put it in my cart. So I know this is like a real big ass swatch, but look at how beautifully this blends out. It is a gel serum formula, and I feel like this is even a little bit easier to work with than the Westman Atelier. I mean, again, kind of splitting hairs, but this is a stiffer formula, whereas I feel like anyone could probably blend this in, even someone who was a beginner at makeup. I just love this shade again. It is such a Cate shade. I have to mention these Pat McGrath blushes, and I know these are not new, but I just would feel remiss if I didn't because they're just my go-to powder blush. So I took Electric Bloom, and when I tell you I took a real small amount, I mean a really, really small amount on my brush and topped that Westman Atelier cream blush with this, and well, you can see this is how it looks. These are just beautiful, weightless, buildable blushes. These are definitely my favorite blushes, powder blushes at Sephora right now. I have, I believe, 6 shades. I'm just going to show you another one just for the hell of it. This is called Paradise Venus. I really couldn't even pick a favorite at this point. I really couldn't. They just are no fail. And another thing that's not brand spanking new, but it's the Patrick Ta blush duos. Now I am showing you this palette. I don't know that this palette is available anymore, but it doesn't even really matter because you can get all these shades individually now, which I love. Because not everyone is going to gravitate toward all of these shades, so I love that you can pick and choose now. But I'll tell you what, the Patrick Ta blushes I feel are such great bang for your buck on top of, you know, whatever discount you're going to get at the Sephora sale, because you're getting a cream and a powder blush. Like, you're literally getting 2 products in one. And the formula, you know, a lot like the Pat McGrath, it just goes on so flawlessly. I love the fact that you can, you know, really mix it up. You can do the cream first and the powder, or do the powder and the cream. It really doesn't matter. I know Patrick Ta loves to do the powder first and then the cream over it, which I think is really interesting, and I'm not mad about it. I just think these look good no matter what you do, honestly. Like, if I apply these with a brush, if I apply them with a sponge, like, it literally does not matter. It always looks phenomenal. This is actually a palette that I've had hiding back with my eyeshadow palettes, which is a damn mistake, because you guys know, as beautiful as eyeshadow palettes are, I don't necessarily grab for them that often. And so I feel like this has kind of been a little bit neglected, but the Patrick Ta blushes are just, they're second to none. They're really, really so incredibly beautiful. I will tell you, I love this shade so much. This is called She's a Doll. I love this shade so much that I actually decluttered that Persona blush, the brand new shade Bubble. It was truly beautiful, but I like this better, and I just don't have a need for like 2 of the same, basically like the same cool tone hot pink blushes. Another category that I am not covering is eyeshadow, simply because I really don't have any new beloved eyeshadows. I would just be showing you my old holy grails, which I know we all love, but like, I've talked about them a million times. So we're not doing eyeshadow today. So now we're moving on to lips. And I'm going to mention one lipstick. I guess it's kind of like a lipstick, I don't know, like lip balm. It's very, very similar to the M Cosmetics lip cushion. And that's actually why I'm mentioning it. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury, the Happy Kiss lipsticks. And this shade right here, this is Pillow Talk, which of course we all know is like her most popular shade. This is so very similar to the M Cosmetics lip cushion in Venetian Rose. It's a little bit more like lipsticky. It's a little less slippy, but not by much. I do feel like it's a pretty close dupe in terms of formula. So, you know, obviously M Cosmetics is not sold at Sephora. Those are some of my favorite lip products right now. And I just think this is a really, really close product to that. Actually, I'm going to pull out the M Cosmetics Venetian Rose lip cushion and we'll just see. Okay, yeah. So obviously the Charlotte Tilbury is not quite as brownie nude. There's a little bit more like pinky to that color, which is probably why I like it just a little bit more. The formula, the consistency of them is almost exactly the same. Don't get me wrong, I do love Venetian Rose. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. Okay, so now we're moving on to lip gloss, and in my top shelf makeup video, I talked about the Pat McGrath Lush glosses. I'm not gonna talk about those today because I've talked about them for years, and we don't need to hear about it again. But I do wanna mention another one of my favorite glosses, and that is the Fenty Heat Gloss Bomb, which I am wearing today in the shade Hot Cherry, and also the Cream Gloss Bombs. I just feel like these really kind of flew under the radar. Am I wrong? I have all of the cream gloss bombs, and I just think they did a great job with the shade range. I think it's really different. It's definitely something that I was not scared, but I wasn't sure it was going to look good on my skin tone, and I was wrong. I really loved how the glosses looked on me, and I also love how they look on people who have completely different skin tones than I have. So, I mean, I just feel like these can flatter everyone, and I'm going to be super extra, and I'm going to put on fruit snacks over what I already have on. Oh my God. I love both of these gloss bombs more than the normal gloss bombs. The normal gloss bombs, meaning like the ones that have a little bit of like glimmer to them, I think it's beautiful. But I know a lot of people don't love the feeling of just like a little, even a little shimmer in their lip products. These products do not have that, and I love them both. So the Fenty Heat, which again, I was wearing throughout the entire video up until now, is a little bit more sheer, and obviously it has that kick of heat, which I love. I really just need more people to get into the Gloss Bomb Heats and the Gloss Bomb Creams. I really don't get why I don't hear about those ever. So now we're moving on to highlighter, which is the last makeup category. The highlighter that I'm wearing on my face today is my favorite shade of the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light Wand. It is the shade Spotlight. This packaging is a little deceptive because I feel like it makes it look like it's gonna be, well, this shade. Look at that. Look at that. It is so beautiful. And like I said, this is what I'm wearing on my cheekbones today. And I just think it is so incredibly flattering. It is described as a rose gold with silver. To me, that just comes out like a champagne, which at the end of the day really is my favorite highlight shade. I feel like it's very universally flattering. Okay, and we're very heavy on the Charlotte Tilbury here at the end with the highlighters, but I had to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury Newgasm Face Palette. This is just so incredibly useful. I don't even know what to say. Like, you've got so many things here. You've got 2 different shades of bronzers. You've got like a proper highlight that I think would look good on nearly everybody. You've got a more sort of rose gold pigmented highlight that could also be like a blush slash highlight. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I love to use all of these as eyeshadow. Like, it's just so good. And I don't know if this is limited edition. I don't know if they're keeping this around or not, but I definitely think this is a great item to get on the Sephora sale because, you know, while it is a great palette, it is expensive. And the last highlighter I want to talk about is the Westman Atelier Lit Up Stick. These are so incredibly gorgeous if you like a wet look highlight. So I have 2 different shades of this. I have the shade Nectar, which I think is probably the most universally flattering shade. So you can see it looks very peachy in the container, but it doesn't look like that at all on your skin. I'm going to show you what it looks like. And this is the first shade I ever got, which is Lit Up, which is an opalescent shade. And that's actually what made me fall in love with the product in the first place. And I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So this right here is Nectar, and this right here is Lit Up. So you can see there's an opalescent reflect in Lit Up. And, you know, Nectar is kind of blending in my skin because I kind of got some like peachy pinky things going on in my skin. So those are the 2 shades I have. Westman Atelier is just nailing it to the ground. And I'm only going to talk about one skincare item. I know what you're thinking. I know you're like, Kate, when are you going to stop talking about the Dr. Dennis Gross Faceware Spectralite LED mask? And I think the answer is maybe never. You guys, if you are not like on the LED train, you better run, do not walk. It really is. I was going to say it's magic, but it's not magic at all. It's science and it works. I see such an improvement in my skin when I use this, like the next day. And you have to be diligent. Obviously, you have to use it several times a week. I try to use this every single day. It's pretty much the easiest thing to use. After I use it, I'll wake up the next day and my skin just looks flawless. I know that sounds like not very descriptive and kind of obnoxious, but my skin really does look just like, I look fresh, like I look rested, my skin looks supple. There's like a bounciness to my skin that when I don't use this, I don't really have. I can't say enough about this mask, and I actually tried another LED mask recently. I had high hopes for it, just, you know, trying to try some different things out, and I like wasn't into it. It wasn't as comfortable. There are just several things I didn't love about it in comparison to this. I thought this only rolled around Christmas time, but I was wrong. They are running a deal on this right now. So not only do you get the Sephora discount, but they have this in a kit. So for the price of what you'd normally pay for just the mask, you're getting the mask as well as a bunch of Dr. Dennis Gross products. So it's a pretty sweet deal. If you're gonna get this mask, definitely do that, because I did not do that and I wish I would have. Okay guys, so that wraps up my Sephora recommendations video. I know it was like super whittled down. I mean, this could have been like 2 hours long or something, but I just didn't feel like that was going to be helpful. If you guys are enjoying my content, please give this a thumbs up and please subscribe. And I don't have like a huge list for myself for the Sephora sale. I have probably about a handful of items that could change because I'm watching other people's Sephora recommendations and it's kind of filling up more. So I'm just gonna kind of see how that goes over the next couple days. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are the best. Please stay safe out there and cheers till next time. Bye. Oh my God, this glass is disgusting. Oh.